Live on Instagram. I'm live all over. Here we go. Mike Nasty. Going live. Hello, everybody. This is Monday night, right before the national championship. It's around 6 o'clock or so. This is Mike Nasty. This is Fat Man Mike Nasty. You know, if you view me, you view me. If you don't, you don't. This is Mike Nasty style with the Fat Man. We're talking sports. We're going to be talking at the end of the Ravens season. They went 10-6, you know. They had a today was the day that they took their stuff out of their lockers. If you went, you know, you had time with the media. Most guys cleared out last night. You don't get many guys that really like to talk to the media, so they cleared out pretty quick. They didn't have many takers that the sports guys could talk to. I'll keep my hands above the table, but yeah. So now it's a reload for the Ravens, and we'll see what they're gonna do. You know, wait for the Ravens. When Biscotti comes and gives the talk of the Ravens about what his plans are. Seeing even if they're going to keep what he said, if he's going to extend Harbaugh, where's Joe going to go? You know, Joe's been pretty good, 11 years, best quarterback we had. He probably has all the records. Probably going to go into the Ring of Fame, the Ravens Ring of Fame, Hall of Fame. So, but you know, Joe was high up there. Took him to playoff wins, took him to the Super Bowl. You know, he won consecutive playoffs at a time. He was very good on his upper echelon. Then when he started going downhill, everybody, you know, yesterday they were calling for Joe because the rookie wasn't getting it done. But, you know how that goes. Coaches had decisions. I think that was a money decision. I don't think Harbaugh had the thing to put Joe in there. But I don't know why they wouldn't have had RG3 dressed and not Joe if you weren't going to play Joe. Only if the rookie got hurt. Only if Lamar got hurt, you would have seen Joe. I would have put RG3 in. That way you could have put him in. He's the same style. He's a better passer. He's accurate. I would have had RG3 dressed instead of Joe if you weren't planning on using him, if it was a money thing, because you don't want to get him hurt and you want to be able to let him go or trade him at the end when it's all said and done. But that's for guys higher than me to decide. But that's all sports talk. Everybody was saying, why did they bring Joe in? Why did they bring Joe in? And they didn't. You know, that's the coach's call, and the coach's hands could have been tied. So that's what the coach does. He makes the call or not. He lives or dies. And if he goes against what the higher up says, oh, there goes his stuff. So Charlie says Harbaugh needs to go. Man, Harbaugh's a good coach. Look at his winning percentage. And look at the things that he's done. He's a good coach. Hello, Steve, as Mary. Harbaugh's a good coach. And you know what? If they did let go of Harbaugh, he's got a job in a second. I just saw that this guy from the Green Bay Packers got Matt LaFleur from the Titans. I guess he was their defensive coordinator. But the Packers got a coach now. Everybody's going young. This guy's a young guy. He's not the old school old guy, you know, going ahead. They're going with these young guys with these offensive minds and, you know, coming out with these different schemes like the Rams coach. You know, he's got firepower up there. He's got good running game, good quarterback. Yeah, he made some bad calls. I give it to you there. They made some bad calls, and if they were going to go with Joe, they had to go to him in the third quarter. They give him a couple reps, Lamar. He'd see that he wasn't on, and then they should have yanked him. But like I said, his hands were probably tied because it was financial. They didn't want to get him hurt, and they wanted to be able to either cut him or trade him at the end. They don't want him to have a bang-up tip or something. And then they're stuck with him and stuck with the money. They need to start making some space, some cap, you know. And they got to decide what they're going to do. Guys like Weddle, guys like Suggs. You know, I think Zarius Smith, the defensive side. They got a lot of guys that are gonna come up on contracts and they'll need to negotiate. See what they're going to do with Brown. Brown says he wants to come back. You know, he says that he would want to come back. John Brown, the wide receiver, he was a 1-year deal. Willie Snead, guys like that. See what they're going to do. See if they're going to draft anybody good out there. See if they're going to get a wide receiver. The mock draft I looked at, they were going for an outside linebacker. And that's the area that they were concentrating on. But, you know, they got a lot to do. They got to work with the rookie now. He's got to learn how to have time. The rookie Lamar has to learn how to, you know, sit in the pocket, read the coverages, and be able to handle the football. You can't fumble the football. He came in week 9 and had 15 fumbles. You know, that's way too much to put the ball on the ground. He put the ball on the ground 3 times in the beginning of the game. How do you control that? I guess he'll be walking around with a football in his hand high and tight for a while. You know, high and tight, like they told you, thumbs on, fingers in your biceps so that they can't bang it out. Well, he floats it like a loaf of bread. And his hands aren't no smaller than anybody else out there, you know. They say his hands ain't that small where he can't grip the ball. Baker Mayfield, the other kid, the Allen kid, they got the same size hands. They didn't fumble the ball. They said he fumbled in LSU. Why didn't they see that? Why didn't they see how many times he fumbled there? Like 37 times he fumbled the ball there at Louisville. When I say LSU. But he fumbled the ball there. You know, so that's something they got to work on. Then they got to work on another scheme. They can't just go with what they had. You see, they got seen twice, and they came up and put 7 in the box on them. They put 7 in the box all except for one play. Nobody ever does that. Nobody ever puts 7 in the box on you. You know, they might do it 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 times, but they did it all game long. He saw 7 in the box, and he couldn't get it done because they had it covered. They had 7 DBs coming in there, defensive backs, linebackers, and then the pressure up the middle was hurting him. He couldn't read. He didn't have enough time. He got sacked 7 times, 7 times. That's because he was holding the ball too much. He wasn't looking. Too much, holding the ball. And that's what you get when you got a rookie. That's why you put Joe in there. Everybody says Joe would have got sacked too the way they were coming, but how do you know? Oh, yeah. Can you hear me now? Is it better? But yeah, that's what they had to go. He was just holding the ball too much. They said if they put Joe in there, he would have been on his back the same way. I think Joe has better reads and he's quicker. You know, and he's not that. He's mobile. He can move a little bit. I don't think he would have been flat on his face, but you know, tonight you got the national championship, Alabama and Clemson. Everybody's waiting for number 3 here for these guys to get it on. Lawrence against Talladega. So that'll be a good match. That'll be a good game. You got to watch that one to the end. So that means I'll be up late. I'll be up watching some. Watching some college football late tonight. Hello, Carissa. How you doing, buddy? You guys all done? And my son's girlfriend is joining us. Say hello to Carissa, everybody. Hello, Carissa. How you doing, everybody? So yeah, that's the main thing that we got going on is, you know, a new shakeup. They're going to be shaking it up there in Ravens land. They said the Phillies are going to meet with Harper on Saturday, so that's baseball in the MLB. Miami hires a new defensive coordinator, Manny Diaz. And other things they're talking about college football. You think they should expand it? I told you before, there's a lot of stuff into expanding it from a 4-team to 6 or 8 because of finals and all the stuff that they have in the winter. You know, expanding it, making it go longer, interrupting bowl games. They're saying they're not quite ready for an expansion yet, that it's too soon. So they talked about it, but now they just put it off the table. I think they need to put more teams in four. Some of them guys, at least six, because the guys that are six, the top six, yeah, that's disappointing when you don't make it. I'm sure Georgia and Ohio State were a little upset. Yeah, and Georgia, it's not fair for Georgia because when Georgia goes, who do they have to play in the SEC SEC championship? They got to play Alabama. Other teams like the ACC, who would they play? ACC, I think Clemson played Boston College or something like that. It wasn't a fair matchup. Like that, Georgia and Alabama, that's a game. That's a national championship right there. But when you got other things like that, like ACC, Clemson doesn't face anybody that's any good like that. I mean, if you go against Virginia Tech or Florida State, but that's nothing like going against Georgia. That's tough going against Georgia. And they've done that a lot. Georgia's always got the short end of the stick. So they said Dwayne Haskins, Ohio State quarterback, he declared for the NFL draft. They said, where's he going? He's going to be going to, I don't know. They had these guys picked of where they were going to go as quarterbacks. The College Football Hall of Fame, they got Vince Young, Troy Polamalu, Joe Thomas are the 2019 class of the College Hall of Fame. Vince Young, boy, he was big as a house last time he was out there. Troy Polamalu and that long hair flying through the middle. He was a good safety. He was one of my tops. My number one's Ronnie Lott. Nobody's tougher than Ronnie Lott. Then my number two's Ed Reed. Then I give you Polamalu. But they were my favorite safeties. That's because they all played the game hard and tough. For guys that would come up and hit. I like the guys that hit. So the poor the Bears kicker doinking it twice. Crossbar upright, then crossbar. Dunk, dunk. That was terrible. He iced them. I knew he was gonna ice him. He iced them. He made the 43-yarder. Then what happens? And man, they sure as shit. They put that up quick. They went dunk. They showed all 10 of his dunks real quick every time he hit the crossbar. So they got that up there real quick. How many times he hit the crossbar? They said they booed him off the field, the kicker. And they got so there's good matchups. I mean, you got New Orleans against Philly. I think New Orleans took care of them before. Then you got up there Dallas against the Rams. New England and the Chargers. I think New England's going to take that. You can't go into New England. They're good at home, and the Chargers are good at away. So you can't beat New England at home, and the Chargers are supposed to be good on the road, but they're going into New England. That's a different place to play. And those fans out there, they know their stuff. Baseball, football, and they travel everywhere. Patriots fans, Red Sox fans. My cousins are up there. We used to, in the summertime, they would come here and go to the Orioles games. We would go up there and go to the games with them when we were real little kids. I remember there was when one of the guys got beamed by a ball. I think it was Dave McNally was pitching, and he got beamed right in the face. That's what I remember. We were sitting there going, whoa! That was a long time ago, though. We were little kids, me and my cousins. They have so is Nick Foles going to do it again? If Nick Foles wins, what do you think he's going to do? Think he replaces Carson Wentz? I don't know if the Chargers will beat them. That'll be a good game. I mean, they didn't beat them last time. And Philip Rivers, last time they met, I think it was 2008. And like I said, he tore his ACL or something and he was playing hurt. I don't think they're going to beat the Patriots. Everything goes through the Patriots. At any time, any playoff, it always goes through New England. Somebody has to go through New England. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Kansas City, he might go through Kansas City. Mahomes is a player. He's an improviser. But the only thing with Mahomes and Jackson is Mahomes can throw from the pocket, and he has a strong arm. Jackson can't throw from the pocket, being mobile guys that like to extend plays, and that's what Holmes does that too. Just like Jackson's better when he's out rolling out and throwing, under pressure than he is sitting back and having to read. Mahomes can do both. He can improvise, he can scramble just like Jackson, run for his life and create plays. And he's got Derrick Hill. He's got the little, you saw what that guy did to us with the lame leg, and he was still catching, third down and 28. And he catches for a first down. They can't catch him. He runs and still catches the ball on a taped up leg. And he still beat us that game because he extended his play. And, Holmes was running around and they got him. And like I said, if Nick Foles wins another game, Carson Wentz is going to be a high paid backup. Because I wouldn't get rid of him. That's just something he just knows how to win. Here it says Lamar Jackson said he was to blame. He's taking the responsibility, but I wouldn't blame it on the defense because if I was grading the defense, I'd give them an A plus because they held off and they put them in the games. Now, like I said, I'd give the offense. He had a 2.8 passer rating going into the third period. That's when I would have brought Joe in. The guy that he was passing 84%. He was set to pass for more yardage this year if he was in there. He had like 2,400 and some yards. He was gonna pass for more than he ever did if he stayed in. But since they pulled him out, he got hurt. But he was on pace to break his own record. But they yanked him for the rookie. But you know what they did? Then they came in, hey, McDermott, how you doing, buddy? And they're not as good as they have been, but they got the formula and they know how to win, and they still got the guys around them. Man, they just pick up people. They can cut people and pick up a guy that, next man up always happens in New England. There's always somebody picking up the slack somewhere for them. You always got that next man up philosophy, and they always do it. And Belichick goes out and picks up guys that are stray. They had Gordon, but that fell in his face. But, that's still, he was the second man. Yeah. I don't know if they should have started Flacco. They should have packages for the guy. They should have been packages for him the whole time. Even when he came back healthy, they should have had like a 2-minute offense for him or some kind of hurry up that they put him in and they go pro style with him. But they didn't do that. Like I said, it was probably a money thing and they didn't want to keep him. They didn't want him to get hurt. And that was probably from the guys up top telling him that he wasn't going in. But like I said, I would have had what's his face dress. I would have dressed RG3 most of the time so that we could have used them and put them in and had them be deceptive. They put him in a couple times, they put him in as a wide receiver, had him run some slants, but that's all they did with him. And when he had that one time when Lamar got hurt, he came in and threw a couple nice passes. I think they keep RG3 next year. I think he's the backup. I don't think they go out and get one. I think he's proven his loyalty and done what he's supposed to do. I think they keep him. And he's not an expensive backup right now, so why wouldn't RG&E? He didn't do anything to hurt his claim to be a backup and sit on the sidelines and collect some money. And out there, I might give in the AFC matchup, I might give it to the Colts over Kansas City. I don't know. That one may be a good one there. My daughter's ding dinging down there. So the Cowboys fans thinks it's their year, and Dak Prescott is saying that he's one of the greatest playmakers. What kind of playmaker is Dak? He has a running game. He has Zeke to bail him out half the time when he has bad games. I guess that's like anybody with a running game. You got a running game you rely on. Didn't do much for us yesterday, though. They had our number and we couldn't change. That's what you need. You need to be able to get out of that and go somewhere else, and we couldn't. We stuck with it. Then they should have put the 4 tight ends and went power on them and just tried to go big and heavy on them. But those guys were fast, and the defensive backs were just killing us. We couldn't handle 7 in the box. They say well, the Yankees kept Britton. They agreed to a 3-year deal with Zach Britton. Used to be our closer. So seems like every one of our guys always goes. Everybody goes to the Yankees. So Britton got a 3-year deal with the Yanks in baseball. Baseball be coming around the corner. We'll see what the Orioles do. Haven't seen much about any movement from them, even if they got in the coaching staff. I haven't really looked at it. I'll have to go in and sometimes see what Elias has done with the Hyde and the new coaching staff. See what they bring to the table. See how many losses we have to endure before they become a prominent team again, if they ever do. But these young guys should be able to do it. They say, they're going to follow the Houston analytics, analytics, whatever. You got to play baseball is what you got to play. You got to get the players. You got to get to do the right thing. Build that farm system is what you got to do. And now they're going. They say that Elias is good in the international. He has a lot of people, so he has connections out there. So we should get us some good guys for the farm system. Bring in new people. Hey, Mankey, you're late, Mankey. We already talked about the Cowboys saying that Dak's a playmaker and stuff like that. So you're either on the couch with us, but I think you're probably going to beat the Rams if your defense plays like they've been playing. But you gotta keep Gurley contained, and you gotta make sure that you got pressure on Goff, else he's going to hit those receivers. And that's going to be an aerial show. He's going to throw for a lot of yards on you if you don't contain them. And then, they get the running game going. You're going to be in trouble out there, California. But, so the Cowboys and the Rams, that's what you got going on out there. We don't have So tonight, like I said, we got getting ready for a good old college showdown. Familiar foes. I think this will be the 3rd time they've gone for the championship, Clemson and Alabama. I think Clemson's got them twice. The Browns interviewed Kitchens, coordinator revamped offense. So they're letting their coordinator get a shot. I'd hire Williams, the guy that was in charge. I'd let him be the Browns. Whoever gets this Browns job, they're going to be set. Those Browns, they're not going to be a walkover. I talked about this before. They got a quarterback, they got a running back, they got defense. You know, all they need to do is stay out of their own way, and you know, they're not going to be an easy walkover coming in. You know, he threw for 300 yards on us twice. We barely beat them the second time. They're going to be a good team. The Jets interviewed Jim Caldwell. That's an old guy. He's still around. Jeez, I wouldn't hire that guy. Like I said before, Dwayne Haskins, he declared for the draft. You know, that poor kicker for the Chicago Bears, they said they booed him off the field. Dink and dunk. He had some close games in this. They weren't all blowouts except for the one, except for Houston. 21-7. We were a blowout until we got a couple scrap plays, but the defense played well, kept us in the game. The offense did nothing. That's why we're sitting at home. But that's what we do. This is Monday Night Sports Talk. Talked about what happened. Talked about the Ravens being on the couch. And then you got in college football, you got Saban against Dabo. Old Dabo. And that's for the marbles. Once again, third time's a charm for these guys. Clemson, man, they smashed Notre Dame in the beginning. That weird boxing. But watch this some junkie. I don't know. Where we go? Hey, Maggie. What you got, Maggie? Got anything, Maggie? Or you just talking? Charlie's talking some stuff. You see Charlie? Up here. We're getting ready for Dabo time. You got a lot of basketball on tonight, the NBA. You got a lot of NBA. NHL. You got some Predators, Maple Leafs, Blues, and Flyers. Wild and Canadian, Flames and Blackhawks, Kings and Sharks. So you got that. You got women's basketball, college basketball, Iowa and Wisconsin later. Yeah, so like I said, the Green Bay Packers hired the Titans offensive coordinator, LaFleur. And Ohio State Parks with Schiano hires Michigan's assistant. So that guy was a good coach, Schiano. But I guess not for them, not anymore. So, Rex. Oh, Rex Ryan's back there. You see that? They were talking about Rex. Says he doesn't feel sorry for the old kicker. Old Rex Ryan. That guy's a clown. He was a good defensive coordinator, not a good coach. WWE breakout stars I'm looking at. Yeah. Well, I don't got much more here. Oh, what is going on? What's these damn cameras? I don't know what's happening. But this is Mike Nasty. This is Sports Talk. This was Monday night, right before the national championship. I'm going to be up late watching this one because it's going to be a burn. Clemson and Alabama, number 3. We'll see who's going to go with it. See if we see Hurst in there for Talaleo if he pulls the plug. Now, Saban, he don't care about pulling the plug. He'll yank it any time and put a quarterback in or out. He doesn't feel guilty. Like he says, he don't feel guilty for being at the top all the time. He can't help it if he can produce players and produce teams. So if you're tired of seeing Alabama in the national championship, somebody's got to knock them off. So somebody's got to get them out of there, and nobody's been able to do it for a while now. Because in college football, that's the dynasty, Alabama. There's been nobody better than that coach. And I don't even think if he came to the NFL, if his statistics and stuff I don't think he could be an NFL coach. I don't think he'd be able to coach up here. It wouldn't have the same effect, the same stuff. I don't think he can run that stuff in the NFL. But he's good. He's good at what he does down there, and he has what he wants. Nobody tells him what to do. He does it himself. He don't have a GM. He don't have an owner. He has he has an AD or whatever they're called, athletic director or something, but he's probably he's his own boss, and nobody tells him what to do. He's kind of like Paterno. Paterno, nobody told Joe what to do. He had his own thing, and then he screwed himself up by not paying attention. So I don't know. That's a sticky situation out there for that one. They took down the statue and stuff. Man, that was a good coach right there. Good old guy doing this stuff. But I don't know. I ain't getting into that one. I'm like turning people crazy to me. But I was a basketball and the guy that coaches. He got a picture with Bobby Knight, one of my favorite basketball coaches. Well, he's a good coach. But yeah, throwing chairs, that was a crazy job. That guy was crazy. Old Bobby Knight. All right. If you view it, you view it. If you don't, you don't. We're ending them out. We're shutting them down. Monday night sports talk with the fat man Mike Nasty. We're slinging it. Hey, this is a Lady Orioles fast pitch shirt. If you're a softball player looking for a club team in the fall or in the summer, Lady Orioles, 2 good coaches. They have a lot of recruits to Division I. They send girls to Penn State. They send girls to Virginia Tech. They got good connections. So if you want to play softball in college, these guys have connections to a bunch of coaches out there. They're a good club. If you're a pitcher looking for a place to pitch, check them out, Lady Orioles. My daughter's played for them for about 3 years now, so they're not bad. Coaches are good guys. They know what they're talking about, too. All right, there's my plug for the Lady Orioles. If you view it, you view it. You don't, you don't. This is Sports Talk with the fat man, Mike Nasty. See you. See you in the AM. I don't know how this went, but see you there. We should. Anybody on here? Nobody's on this one. Nobody ever gets on here and writes anything. Come on, YouTubers, get on and write something.